Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the stream. Welcome. Let's just see if we can jack this volume down a little bit real quick. Where are we? Better. Much better. Just getting myself ready, guys. Adjusting the headset. Sorry if I'm banging the microphone. I do apologize. But welcome to today's stream. Today's live stream on Twitch, brought to us today by the amazing people. This stream can only be possible by these amazing people, these fantastic people in Ratalaika Games, RatalikaGames.com. Check them out. This game's called The Fairy Song, and it's just been released. Let me tell you about the game. Stuffing my words up today. Going through a whole week of just completely stuffing. I can't talk this week, by the way, guys. I'm just completely hopeless. Hey, cowboy, how there, duty? Damn fairies. Yep. Get yourself a blow-up fairy, cowboy. Hey, Jericho, welcome to the stream, buddy. Good day, chump. Would I put another strip on the barbie? How are you doing, cowboy? How you doing, Jericho? Yes, guys. Ratalaika Games presents The Fairy Song. Let me tell you what the game's about. Okay, where are we? A fairy's fantastic kinetic novel full of mystery, romance, and danger. Marlene has been palmed off by her grandmother's care in the boring backwater English village of Frenchapelle. Despite her grandmother's constant ravings about fairies, Marnie, I think her name's Marnie. Yeah, we'll just say Marnie, wanders into the forest. She happens upon a young female knight in the glade, clutching a sword. The knight has been sleeping for many centuries, but Marnie eventually awakens her. I'm pronouncing that name wrong. I know I am. Together, the two girls go on an adventure, and their feelings toward one another grow. Wow. The game features 85,000 words of text, a kinetic story, detailed character and event artwork, an entirely original soundtrack, a sweet yuri love story. The release date of this game was June 16th, 2023. So a few days ago, guys. Sorry for the late stream. Had too many games backed up on the sponsor list, so this one had to wait. Plus, I didn't receive it in time also. It's a single-player game. The genre is adventure visual novel. Once again, the publisher, Ratalaika Games, RatalikaGames.com. English, supported language, English, German, Russian, simplified Chinese. It's available for the Nintendo Switch, the PS4, the PS5, the Xbox One, Xbox Series S, X. Today, guys, I'm playing on the Xbox Series X, usually Xbox wireless headset, and a Designer Lab Red Full controller that I designed myself, kind of. Yeah, kind of. Does that make sense? Yes, cowboys, 85,000 words. Once again, guys, if you're watching me live right now on Twitch, or you're watching this back on my YouTube channel, it's never asked for. It's not necessary, but if you want to give me a follow or a subscription or a like, whatever you want to call it, it's always appreciated. Thank you in advance. Okay, look at the options real quick. Again, that's the options, the extras. Let's check out the extras. CG gallery. We've unlocked nothing because we have never played this game before. Music box. I guess we can go through all the music. And this is locked. And we're going to start the game right now. A lot of talking, guys, because it's a visual novel. So you got to talk. I can't read it. The text is so small. I don't know what she's saying. N-I-E. Nee. Money. Oh, okay. That's her nickname, obviously. I can hear Mum calling my name. About a faintly. About the rumbling of the car's tires and the pounding bass line of those mouths, tattered banners and bloody flags. But I don't really feel like replying. It's easier to pretend I can't hear her. I'm so not in the mood for a lecture right now. Well, Andrew, don't you have anything to tell her? Like what? Oh, I don't know. Maybe that she should at least dignify me with some sort of response. Okay, so the mum's straight away stuck up. The cowboy says, do you play anything else? Well, cowboy, if you pop past most of my streams, you'd realize that I play a lot of different games, a lot of different sponsor games. Yesterday, I played a different game. Actually, this game, actually, I shouldn't say that because I did play a visual novel on Monday. But it was a lewd visual novel, so that's cool. Lewd means boobs, guys. It had boobs in it. So Wednesday, another visual novel, but I haven't played a visual novel since for probably a couple of weeks, to be honest. About a couple of weeks. I know she's going through a rebellious phase, but I'm still her mother. She would be a bit more respectful, honestly. All right. I'll try talking to her. Hey, Gizmo, are you okay back there? I just got the Gizmo. Isn't Gizmo from the Gremlins? Don't fit him after 12 o'clock or don't get him wet. And now Dad's getting into the act too. Great. Dad isn't a Torika's mum. She's always on my case, either about my makeup or my homework or the state of my room. But his concerned queries and awful dad jokes are almost as bad as Mum's constant complaints. I dig my buds deeper into my ears and sink down on my seat. I think I'd rather be in mid-grade. Even if it's burning on the ground, this is the car. I'd probably be cooler there too. The summer heat is utterly unbearable. I'm afraid I'm going to get a tan. Not that it ever happens. I don't booze like Greek gardeners do. I turn pink instead. It's not a great look. Why is it so hot anyway? I live in England. It's supposed to rain here every day, summer or winter. Thanks, global warming. I love you too. Oh, for God's sakes, take those earbuds out, Marnie. I can hear the awful music from here. You're deafening yourself if you don't be careful. What the hell's in her hair? Okay, I got an achievement straight off the bat, guys. The beginning. Unlock the beginning. Embark on a journey, it's called. So that was pretty quick. Hey! I pull my earbuds in and glare at the back of Mum's head. Yeah, cowboy. I was thinking about the same thing. Really religious. She's got double crosses. She couldn't just do it with one. She had to have two. And you can't even say the X's because it's definitely a cross. Turns me right off. I pull out my earbuds and I glare at back of Mum's head. Sorry, I read that. I'm Mum. Awful. They're very talented. All they do is shout. I don't understand what they do. I'm so obsessed with them. You think I'm obsessed? The rich coming from you. At least I don't blast my music around the house at full volume 24/7. I like the valiant roof. That's different. I can't see my mother's face, but it's yet to be blushing. My mum has quite a cool, steery exterior, but she always gets frustrated whenever Varlene Ruth comes up to the equation. Helene is the same about Protis, come to think of it. I think Protis is creep myself. He's like, what, 24, 25? Either way, he's too old to go out with Helena. She's only 16. I've tried to broach the subject on her before, but when I do, she always gets pissy. Haha, though we're supposed to be friends. Pissy. I mean, geez, sorry for being concerned about the welfare. I didn't realize that was so uncool. Valentine is a talented musician. He's a gentleman too. I simply have to support the newest single. I wanted to break into the top 10. He deserves it for he's working so hard. So that's your excuse for listening to Golden Year 10 million times a day? It wasn't 10 million. It sure felt like it. You heard that song so often I had nightmares about it. Not you too, Andrew. I would appreciate if you didn't take sides. I'm not taking sides, I'm just being honest. Well, don't you? You don't know anything about Valentine. And how much do you know about him, huh, Mum? I'm not that very It's not like you ever met him. I stuffed it up. For all you know, he could be a psychopath. Don't be ridiculous. Of course he isn't a psychopath. I've been a fan of his since I was a young girl, Marnie. I think he's a better guess for the character than you do. Sure, whatever. Don't you know whatever me? This is important. Important to you, maybe. I yawn and stare out the window, arms folded. My mum always gets like this when she talks to her childhood crush. The precious Saint Valentine. In her eyes, he can't do no wrong. Though my mum's 46, often scans Twitter searching for people who dislike him. She gets into a fiery 280 characters debate about personalities in his music on a regular. His long life dedication to Valentine Ruff is pretty incredible. But it's also kind of disturbing. I guess you could call it pathological. You'd think my mum, being a therapist and all, would be such a staunch believer in the keeping away from such internet upset her. But apparently not. I hope you haven't been arguing with the people on Twitter again, Louis. It isn't good for you. It just makes you angry. And then it goes small. Obviously, she's kind of like whispering to herself or thinking to herself, but it's kind of a pain to read. Mum's always angry. I muttered this under my breath. Yeah, she was whispering. Hoping the car engine would drown it out, but of course. I heard that, Martin. My mum's ears are razor sharp. What's her sense of hearing honed and listening to Valentine Ruff's records on the loop for the last 40 years? I would never have known. Anyway, we're not supposed to be talking about Valentine right now. Really? That's a first. Put a sock in it, Andrew. This Andrew fella reminds me of the Xbox cowboy. I love you too. I love you too, though sometimes I wonder why. Mom sighs and shakes her head. Anyway, we're almost at French Appel. Yippee! We might be a bit rippy like Mario there. Yeah, Mario says yippee, yahoo, yee. I'm a Mario. Now, I know you're not very happy about spending the week with your grandmother. Goodness me, whatever gave you that impression, my dearest mother? I sit up a little straighter and blink at Mum. It's wide eyes and eyelashes. Though I wear black pretty much all the time, I got to be pulling off the innocent look. My eyes are very blue and the hair is pale blonde. When I was younger, people would look at me and stare at me like a doll. I'm tiny too, which is probably why my dad calls me Gizmo. That's what the cowboy calls his doll, Gizmo. Hey, Gizmo. Oh, get wet. Hey, cowboy. Welcome to the stream, buddy. Welcome. Not even my platform boobs are enough to disguise my teensy I am. Some of the teachers at John Wilkes still think I'm in year 7. It's hard to believe. Sorry. Let's start again. It's hard being a goth when you look like Disney's Rapunzel in a picture. Don't be smart with me, Marnie. Cowboy says, thanks for coming. That's what you said to your doll yesterday. Thanks for coming, Gizmo. Love you, Cowboy. But I'm not smart, Mum. Mrs. Parrish has made it quite clear in my last report. I'm also forgotten about the rotten report. I can't believe these things she said. She gave me such a dressing down. My intramural mass is somewhat legendary, yes. Don't sound so proud about it. You're going to 6th from the September. If you get the grades, I hope you'll supply yourself a little more often. Sure, Mum, whatever. I wish you wouldn't say that. But let's get back to the topic here. I know you don't want to see Iris, honey, but I hope you'll be nice to her. You only have one grandma. You need to cherish her. And you only have one daughter, but you feel very cherished right now? What do you mean by that exactly? You're going to take me on a holiday with you? It's not fair you and Daddy get sworn off the Bronx when I'm stuck here in French Appel. There's no way to reward me like sitting with my GSSEs. I don't know if you deserve a reward. I never once saw you studying for the exams. I worked hard on my art portfolio. You worked too hard if you ask me. You were down in the garden shed until 3 in the morning, splashing acrylic paint around. It's only as you put much effort into your English and maths. Don't talk to me about my M word. I'll choke. Sometimes I wish some wish times. God, I'm stuffing it up today. You know how, what's that movie? Bruce Almighty. When he controls Steve Control as a news reporter. That's what I feel like right now when I can't talk. Sometimes I wish I could choke you, you cheeky madame. Mum, please. It is something that the therapist would say. I say whatever I damn want to my daughter. You need a bit of a disciplining. Oh, your dad's too soft on you. So, is that why you wouldn't take me on a holiday with you? You're trying to punish me? No, of course not. That isn't it. We've been through this already. Mum sighs and wipes her brow. It's hopeless hot in the car. Even the windows wound down. I can see my mum's blouse clinging to her back. I booked this holiday so I could support Valentine. He'll be performing for the first time since his hip operation. And I want to be there for him. Hold on, he's like 24, 25 and he's had a hip operation? Is that right? Did I read that right? I think so. Like he even knows you're alive. He will know Allah when I ask him to sign my copy of the Golden Year. So that's why you want me around. You're afraid to cramp your style when you finally meet your childhood crush. So he must be older than that. Of course not. I imagine it'll be a hard look in the man of his dreams when you got a moody teenage daughter hanging around. So I must have read that long. Cowboy says, where's the action? It's not a lewd title, Cowboy. Unfortunately, this is not a lewd title. Ratalaika Games don't make lewd titles. If you want to see a lewd title, Cowboy, go to my YouTube channel and look for the latest one, which was Secure Fantasy. That's a lewd title with Booba. If you like that one, Cowboy, you probably won't last 5 minutes though. Get that into you. Thanks for coming. But what's the poor dad going to do while rolling in the Valentine? Aren't you afraid he'll get jealous? Jealous? Me? Not likely. I know I'm not Louise's #1 pick when it comes to men, but she married me and she's stuck with me now. I doubt she let Valentine sweep her off her feet, even if she does happen to propose. My Louise faithful as they come. Valentine will be able to sweep her off my feet. Not without breaking his back. Isn't he like 200? Now he's old. Now I'm getting confused. He's only 73. Okay, so when we were talking about the 25, 26-year-old, it was a totally different dude. And I just got lost. Do apologize, guys. Do apologize. Oli, she says, geez. And I thought Pratis would go too off for Lena. Okay, so we're talking about someone else again. He's got about 30 years on you, Mum. He's old enough to be your own father. And so I don't get a pill. He used to be very handsome when he was younger. Have you know? More than Dad? Obviously, your father's never once been a teen heartthrob, has he? What a bitch. Man, if you were married to this bitch right now, you'd smack her while she slept, wouldn't you? Oh my God, she's just giving it to him. Oh, Louis, you wonder me. I'm just telling the truth. Gee whiz. Man, if your wife or your girlfriend said to you that you're just not a good sort, what the hell, eh? She could just lie, but she couldn't just say the truth to you, could she? Mum's tone might be snippy, but I know it's not the full sum of the feelings for my father. She's actually pretty sappy deep down. She and Dad still all over each other 20 years ago in their marriage. Her love for Valentina Russ notwithstanding. I walked on them kissing the living room couch more than once. I guess the relationship is kind of cute, in a way. At least it would be if it wasn't their daughter. Who wants to see their parents necking? Ew, thinking about it is making me feel kind of queasy. And I highly doubt Valentina will approach me. It's barely get a chance to speak to him. It'll be packed, his concert sold out in minutes. But if he does, oh, don't get started on this. It's not happening, and you're not coming on holiday with us. You had your chance. I did ask if you wanted to come, remember? And you said, I'd rather stick with pins into my ears and listen to Valentina live. Yeah, well, that was before I knew we were staying with a French apparel for a week. I planned to sleep over Helena's house while Mum and Dad went aboard, but Helena and I had a falling out over Patrice in the last week of the school term. Like it was even worth it. Okay, so that's her best friend, obviously. I can't believe she called off the plans at the last minute. What an awful friend. I was literally just trying to help. But Helena got all snotty, and she said it was old enough to look after herself. And anyway, the age of consent in England is 16, and she's basically an adult, so that means she can do whatever she wants, so I get last. Cowboy says, oh, okay, the crystals have saved me. I'm excited. Oh, Cowboy, you're slapping yourself too hard. Slap that dolphin silly. I really don't get what she sees in Pratis. He's a total creep. He might have a car, and maybe he can play the guitar, but does he really make up for his weird name? It certainly does make up for the fact that he's in his mid-20s. Now, Monique, don't give me that. This situation is exactly ideal, but you have to grin and bear it. I think it'll be good for your mum to have a bit of company. She's not in the best of her ways since her dad passed. You can cheer her up. Me? She ain't grown up. I think it's got the wrong kid. I'm no Shirley Temple. No, you're more than Wednesday Addams kind of girl. Mum likes you, though. It's been ages since she saw you. Saw her. I think a bit of company has just got the doctor ordered. I think Gran needs to see a doctor. Hasn't been the nuttling of the fairies since Grandpa died. Dad's fingers tighten around the steering wheel. He sighs. My dad's such a silly, inverted kind of man. It's rare to see him down in the dumps like this. Mum's obsessing with Valentine and rest makes him laugh, but he's uncharacteristically serious when it comes to Gran's decline in mental state. I guess I don't blame him. I was shocked when I saw Gran at Grandpa's funeral last year. She's particularly withered overnight. I didn't know people could just shrink like that. It's sad. It's also kind of scary. I don't think Mum needs to see a doctor, Gizmo. She's a tough old bird. Might be a second, guys. Just got a text. Just got to reply to it and say, shut up. God, I'm good. God, I'm good. Oh, what the hell? Okay, back. Sorry about that. His eyes went what they used to be, and he shrunk a little, but she could still get around the house all right. Your brother's desperate to put him back in the home. He keeps phoning us about it every week. Yes, well, you know what Jim's after, and I doubt he has our mother's best interest at heart. Dad just to be in the rear view mirror. A sad kind of smile on his face. You don't need to worry, Money. Your Gran's fine. I doubt she'll kneel over in the company. She's just lonely, is all. You know, if you spend time with her, it might help. Maybe. but I'm not so sure. Dad convinced me that Grandma's RS is a honky-dory. He's been pushing his narrative ever since Grandpa's Frank's funeral, but I don't think I believe him. Dad's convinced Uncle Jim wants to oust Gran from the house so he can divide her assets, and he might have a point, but I'm a little worried about my Gran. She looks so frail at the funeral, and then there's no talk about the fairies. It just doesn't seem right. I don't think it's normal, but I guess that doesn't matter. I'm going to stay with my Gran this week, and in my mother's words, if I don't like it, I'll just have to lump it. If only Helena had blown me off, this wouldn't be happening. This is probably a charitable thing to think about the best friend, but she's acting like a stupid cow. Cowboy says, something doesn't seem right. Something doesn't seem right. Alright? What? What? I do admit, guys, that the music in the background's starting to annoy me. It's going on for far too much. It needs to have a break with it. I pop my earbuds back in my ear and I immerse myself anew in the cold, steery, blood-stained wood of Amor's Arvis. It looks like a Gran's home in a few minutes, but until then, I can always imagine. Right now, I want to imagine I'm somewhere other than Friendshipable. Finally, the music's gone. Hopefully it doesn't come back anytime soon. Well, it has, but it's a little bit different. I do admit the art in the background, it's quite good drawings. It's quite good. I like it. It's got good soundtrack in the background. That first part just went on for too long. It's a little bit overbearing. Might have to just turn it down a bit. Don't know how it's your guys' end, but I'm going to just turn my headset down because it's just a little bit too much for me. Gameplay-wise, I'm playing the Xbox Series X, but it is a visual novel, so all you have to do is basically press one button. If you skip it by accident, it's the back button, so it's... Yeah, so Cowboy says, oh wow, cars now. Yeah, Cowboy, we're getting a bit of Forza. Bit of Forza, Cowboy. Bit of Gran Turismo and Forza Horizon. How you liking it? Dad pulls up a Gran's too large driveway. She seems strangely empty without Grandpa's old Honda. Dad helped Gran sell after Grandpa died. She said it reminded her too much of him, and she couldn't bear to look at him any longer. Cowboy says, broom, broom, mofo. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Get your motor zooming. Gran's beat up Hyundai is still there. Actually, it's actually saying Honda in Hyundai. I wonder if they got the rights to say that in games. Normally when they say the actual car's names, they either say like it's Honda, it would call it a Zonda, and Hyundai would be like a Hyundai. It would be spelt completely like with a day on the end. Instead of Hyundai. Or maybe something a little bit different, so they can't get sued. We'll see. Like a Lamborghini, Ferrari, Sanani, or some crap like that. You know how they just change it just a fraction. I love you too, Pepsi. Peppy. Homer Simpson. But I doubt she uses it anymore. Her vision wasn't to how it used to be, and she can barely grip the wheel with her terribly lingering fingers. Old age is pretty depressing. She seemed healthy before Grandpa died too. Grandpa, sorry. After the funeral, she went to pieces. I guess she really did love him. Nice looking kitchen. Good looking stove. One of those full stoves that go right to the ground. Old fashioned, but they re-brought them back, didn't they? Big oven, stove and oven built into one. Gran insists on making Mum and Dad a cup of tea when they drop me off, and Mum directly agrees. Although I know she's anxious. Scratching my eyeball. She keeps tapping her fingers against the kitchen table and looking at the clock. I know she's calculating the distance between Pearl and Manchester Airport in her head like a GPS, trying to figure out how much longer it will take to get there. Heaven forbid anything stops her from seeing her beloved Valentine. For a therapist, Mum sure does worry a lot, mostly about timekeeping, the housework, and my grades. Recently, Valentine's Ross been pretty high on the list too. I swear my mum's obsessed. Bit of a close-up of the kitchen, and it's actually moving in the background too, which is a nice little change. My family's chatter idly across the cups of tea. Gran mostly talks about how hard it's been to manage the house since Grandpa's death, but Maria's been such a big help. Bless her heart. Then she can't imagine how she got along without her. It's all very sad, but I vaguely relieved the rattles through her list of minor grievances. At least she isn't talking about fairies again. Oh, wow, we can see Grandma. She's a bit frail, isn't she? Maura's the girl from the council, isn't she? Oh yeah, she comes over every week to help me with the shopping, and she does a bit of cleaning too. She really is a sweetheart. She's probably stealing her money from her back. She doesn't even know. Well, that's good. I'm glad Maria's, I can't pronounce that word, been treating you right, Gran. And how's Dad's vegetable garden coming along? It's most about time to dig up those lettuces and potatoes. Oh, that's right. I've been so much to do since Frank passed and forgot about his garden. Old age is really unbearable. Gran holds a trembling hand to her temple, perhaps hoping this will restore some of the haziest, fading memories. Nothing made Frank happier than watering his lettuces. The garden brought him so much joy it completely slipped my mind. Hey ho! Don't worry about it, Mum. No harm done. Since I'm here, I can always help out in the gardening. That is, if you don't mind. Oh, would you do that? I appreciate it, Andrew, but... Gran glances at Mum. Mum's staring at the clock again, her lips pursed. She doesn't look happy. Then again, she really does. I wouldn't want to keep you. Don't you have a plan to catch? It doesn't set off until 7, Mum. We've got bags of time. Isn't that right, Louis? Well, I suppose a small break wouldn't hurt. My mum gives my dad a tortured look. I don't want to be late. Those tickets were expensive, and Valentine can wait, I'm sure. The garden was important to Dad. I'm the one who helped him set it up. I can't let all his hard work go to waste. Well, when you put it like that, I suppose you gotta let it go then. Mum crosses and then recrosses her legs, sighing as she does so. She might be uptight in timekeeping, but anyone can see the anxious sighs in the Gran's too large kitchen in the back of the road, but she isn't heartless. She's a therapist after all. Listening to other people's problems is a part of her job. Gran hasn't been coping well since Granddad's death. If it wasn't for Maria's weekly visits, she'd probably be in an old person's home, and as per Uncle Jim's wishes. This should go without saying, but my grandma really is old. Isn't it strange to think about it? And even stranger to see all that age hanging around her face, her grey skin dripping. Grey skin, thanks. As though it was too heavy for her. My earliest memories of Grandma are the stirred, square-shouldered woman with the sharp eyes, her grey hair pulled back in the tight bun. But that woman is worlds apart from the Gran I'm seeing right now. She's deteriorated so much it's almost scary. Go and have fun in Frank's garden, Andrew. I won't stop you, but don't take too long. I don't want to miss our flight. Right you are, Goover. My dad's grin rakishly as his cheeky Victorian chimney sweep and drops off the invisible cap in Mother's direction. Isn't that Mary Poppins? I think there's a bit of Mary Poppins quote there. Have you seen Mary Poppins, guys? It's a great movie. Dick Van Dyke. Wasn't he Dick Van Dyke in it? Dick Van Dyke. And then he played in... I remember watching the movie, Dick Van Dyke, and then I never saw him in another movie since Night in the Museum. I think he's passed now, hasn't he? If anyone's watching me live right now, is Dick Van Dyke passed? I think he has. Mary Poppins. And then he played in a whole heap of movies, but I never watched them. And then I saw him again in Night in the Museum. That was a great movie. So was Mary Poppins. What's Mary Poppins? How's that go again? A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. And the other one was, what's the other one? What was that? If you say out loud, it really says atrocious. That one. How did that go at the start? I remember the last bit. Oh, I can't remember. Dick Van Dyke's still alive. How old is he, cowboy? Can you Google it for me and tell me? I'm going to have a guess. I reckon Dick Van Dyke is 94. 94 or 96. If he's very old, he's 94 or 96. Maybe he's in his 80s. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. If you say it loud enough, it seriously says atrocious. Then it's cowboy. I can't believe you actually tried to spell it. He's 97. Dick Van Dyke's 97. Wow. 3 off the big one. Well done, Dick Van Dyke. If you're watching me live right now, Dick Van Dyke, which I bet you 1 zillion to 1 you're not. Good on you, buddy. Dick Van Dyke. What a name. Imagine when he was young and he chatted up with chicks. Hi, my name's Dick Van Dyke. I think the real Victorian chimney sweeps were cheekier though. They were probably too busy dying from birds and suffocation to clan out there my dad. What about you, Gizmo? Do you want to come with? Oh, we actually get to see her. She's a bit of a punk rocker, right? She's got that kind of like a spiky necklace kind of thing. And then she's got, hearts. She's got one around her neck. She's got, not hearts, crosses around her neck and 2 in her hair. Kind of weird, eh? Oh, Dad, do I have to? Well, It'll be listening to your mum's category Valentine's Ruth's many accomplishments for hours on end, won't it? Don't be like that. I think of things other than Valentine, you know. Sure do, Louis. I do? Mum's huffs in the background, but Dad pays his little head. He grins at me, then says, "So what about it, Gizmo? I could sure use an extra pair of hands." I think the potatoes should be ready to come up, and lettuces, and maybe the carrots. There's a whole lot of bunch of tomatoes in the greenhouse, strawberries too. Dad wiggles his eyebrows and suggestively, "I know how much you love strawberries." All right, fine. Whatever. Look at her eyes. They're so blue. But good. I push my glasses and my pink lemonade to one side and get on my feet, stretching. I've been sitting in Grand's kitchen for less than half an hour. My limbs already feel like what's atrocious? Is that atrocious? No, it's not atrocious at all. I just made that word up. We'll just go with it though. I'll be glad to get out of this stifling atmosphere for only a few moments. Being around Grand now is kind of sad. Her white hair is horribly thin, and the bun she had to pull back is hardly help matters. I can see the alarming amount of bright pink scalp when I stand up. Her body, meanwhile, is just a shrunken. Her cardigan is so large it looks like a showering her. I can't bear to be in the kitchen with another second longer. What a horrible person! She's basically given it to her grandmother in a head, eh? I'm not a very sentimental person, but seeing Grandma reduced to this sorry state hurts way too much. I suppose it's kind of sad. Hey, we're outside now. Thanks for your help, Gizmo. I couldn't have done it without you. Come off it, Dad. I didn't do anything. I just stood here for while you did all the hard work. Now, don't sell yourself short. I don't mean to. I'm short enough. It is. Ha ha ha! While I did almost the heavy lifting, I did something even more important. Oh yeah? And what's that? You gave me a moral support. My dad reaches out, smiling brightly. I think he means to ruffle my hair with one hand, and the other wearing Grandpa's old work glove, and he smeared all over with soil. Hey, Dad! I sidestepped the oncoming hand, holding my hands up to protect my hair. Careful, you cover me with mud. Oops, sorry about that, Gizmo. Dad grins sheepishly and peels the gloves off his hands. Then he ruffles my hand with one of his large, withered palms. I think about throwing him off, but, well, I guess he's not doing any harm. I never would have thought they would care about getting me my hair dirty, though. Aren't you always nagging your mum about dyeing it black? I don't nag, I just asking. And besides, hair dye is dirt and two totally different things. You mean one washes out easy and one doesn't? You're so lame, Dad. Thanks, Gizmo. I love you too. My dad draws his hand away, still gripping inside. My dad's affection can be a little overbearing, but he always means so well. As far as Dad goes, he's pretty chill, which is definitely a good thing. If he schooled me and Mum about Mum does, I'll go mad. Mum might exist in a semi-constant state of stress, but Dad's laissez-faire attitude helps even things out. Speaking of which, so Dad, why don't you let me dye my hair? Now, Marine, we've been about this. You know what your mother would say. But this has nothing to do with Mum. This is my hair and I should be allowed to do what I want with it. You wouldn't care if I dyed it, would you? No, personally, no. I think blonde hair suits you. But black might be more fitting, as certainly match your foul moods. Oh, please. I roll my eyes and Dad laughs. Sorry, Gizmo, I'm just saying it like I see it. You should know better than this, though. Then what? Even if I said yes, Mum would is the law. I gave her your permission to dye your hair behind her black. My life wouldn't be worth living. She execrated me. I guess you have a point. I winded a strand of hair was around my index finger, my eyes trained on the plastic box of potatoes by my feet. The potatoes in my grandpa's vegetable garden are so small, I don't know if it was really worth extracting them from the dirt, but at least gave me an excuse to get out of the kitchen. I wish my mom wouldn't get to my case about everything though. I mean, my hair does belong to me. I'm in the sixth form soon. It's not like I'm a little kid. No matter how old you get, you'll still be my kid, Chuck. Is that what you always call me when you're stupid names? No, I can call you names because I love you. I never stop loving you, whether you're 16 or 66. At least when I'm 66, I'll be able to do what I want to my hair. You would think of a goth? Still be a goth when you're 60s? I don't know. I can try. I would tell you that the older you get, the more stark a feeling with your status quo. But I guess Letta's a good example of your reserves. My dad's older sister, Letta, is an interesting person. Apparently, she used it a very fashion occasion. When she was a teenager, she spent a lot of money on clothes, and she was pouring through magazines looking for the latest fashions. She always sworn around the house in flimsy, see-through nagleen. Apparently, it was left quite an impression on my father during his formative years. He told me of numerous occasions that his mother could scold her and say, "We live in England, not France, and if you were to show off your legs, would become a can-can dancer." Aunt Lydia's fashion stylings now, however, couldn't be further from the cosmopolitan youth. She's in the 50s and she's famous, various valorous robes and long, grossly scarves paired with so many bended necklaces and bracelets. She creaks and she walks like a living wind charm. Her fashion sense isn't the most usual thing about my aunt, though. There's her obsession with astrology and division and senses. I might be Letta's niece, but I don't know half of her beliefs. My family doesn't visit all that often. She's something of an enigma to me. Well, as long as you end up like my sister, I'm sure you'll be fine. Don't end up like a sister. Don't worry about it. I don't believe in fortune telling. I'm not interested in seeing into distant realms. Ha ha ha! I knew you had a good head on your shoulders, Gizmo, no matter what your useful maths teacher said. Sadly for me, Mum seemed to be side with Miss Partridge. Your Mum's only on you because she loves you. Don't take her lectures too hard. But you're not hard at all. Sorry. Got to scratch my eye. But you're not hard on me at all. Does that mean you don't love me? We just show our love in different ways, is all. Not since you were such a woeful assistant. Wonderful assistant. Not woeful, wonderful. Cowboy says you were in love with it. Cowboy, I couldn't be far from it, buddy. I couldn't be far from it. My dad plucks a ripe, juicy strawberry from his basket and ground and proffers it to me like a magician. Ta-da! Expecto Patronum! That'd be impressive if I could help to pick those 5 minutes ago. But I accept the strawberry at the same, despite my grousing. Unlike the lettuces and potatoes, which are disappointingly small, my grandfather's strawberries are largely hearty. The skin's bright red and prepared for the yellow seeds. I pop the strawberry into my mouth and chew. The fruit bursts between my teeth, flooding my tongue with tart juice. Dad watches while I eat it, smiling gamely. Is that good? Not bad. Why? What's a growling review? I just can't resist. I have to help myself to one too. Don't tell Mum, alright? I won't. Cross my heart. Dad's supposed to be on the diet. Mum taunts him if he eats anything she isn't focused on the diet plan. But now this isn't here. Dad can do what he pleases. A strawberry's bad for you? I don't think strawberries are bad for you. They're fruit, so I can't see them being bad. Grinning like a naughty boy, my dad snaffles around the strawberry and bites into it. Now it's the spots. These strawberries are to die for. Cowboy says, I'm off, big man. Gotta get ready for the work. Have fun. See you tonight. State of origin tonight, Cowboy. State of origin tonight, so I'll be drinking and watching Queensland. Go, Queenslander! Queenslander for the win, baby. He swallows his strawberries and helps himself to another and another. I watch him passing me, my lips pursed. You should be careful, or there won't be any left for Gran. Right you are. I have to stop myself there. If I get some free time, Cowboy, I will. But I'll be drinking and I'll be watching that footy, buddy. It's the biggest sporting event of the year, buddy. You know that. You have fun too, but have fun at work. Right you are. I have to stop you there. Now, we need to bring the spoils back to Mother. Dad looks at the stewarded boxes lined up on the ground. These ones filled with potatoes, another lettuce and carrots, and the third with strawberries and blackberries. Do you want to carry the berries, Gizmo? I'm a man. I can handle these hefty spods. The potatoes are hardly hefty, Dad. Well, I doubt you will find taters like these in Tesco. True. But we're grown with love, and they has to count for something. Dad stacks the box of potatoes upon the box filling with lettuce and carrots, then picks them both up. His forehead stick with sweat. A cool wind ruffles my hair, but it does little to dispel the muddy, unpleasant heat. A fly buzzes, settling upon one of the ripe strawberries. I batted away with my eyes narrowed. It's a nice day, isn't it, Gizmo? That depends on your definition of nice. Haha, you're such a little vampire, knowing it. I bet you prefer it was dark and gloomy, wouldn't you? I prefer it was anything other than the French Pearl. It's not fair that you and Mum get to go relax on the sandy beach of rocks for a week while I'm stuck here. Oh, I don't know if it was more... I don't know if it's much relaxing. Your mum was trying to hunt down Valentina Roth all holiday, I expect. But I'll try to cheer her up. I know you don't like French Pearl very much, but I was born here. I turned out alright. It's a bit dull, but you can always go for walks in the forest. And your gran isn't that old, it's not a bad old sort, really. Can you look at the bright side? I can try, I guess. But I can promise you, I can't promise that I'll succeed. Who wants to spend a summer holiday in French Pearl anyway? There's nothing to do here at all. You better make up. Sorry, I'm really stuffing this up. I do apologize. You better make this up to me, Dad. Next summer, can't you take me on a holiday somewhere cool? Like the North Pole? I didn't mean that literally. I wouldn't mind going to Germany though. Or maybe Austria. Sweden might not be bad either. That is where Amon Amarth came from. I like a good 60% of their bands I listen to on a regular basis. Why does the best music come out of Scandinavia anyway? Alright, I see what I can do. Next year. Let's have fun together and a family without Valentina Roth getting in the way. What do you say? I smile. I can't help it. I'm not enthused about spending the week in French Pearl. Far from it, in fact. But it's hard to grumpy when I work for my dad. I wish I'd come with him. Even take Valentina Roth over French Pearl. This place is too depressing for my words. And on that note, guys, hey, goddess, it's time to end the stream. I've got to go and pick my daughter up early from school. I just got that text. So I do apologise. I'm going to save it. Sorry, goddess. I'm going to have to say hi and bye. But I've just got a text. I've got to pick my daughter up from school early. Yeah, it's her sports day, so they get to finish early today. But what do we think about the French song? Not the French song, the fairy song. I said French because there was heaps of French in the game. The French Pearl. The fairy song brought to me today by Ratalaika Games. Storyline seemed to be a pretty good one. Visualization, the art in the background was nice drawings. I like the art. Soundtrack, though some of it can be a bit overbearing. That's easily fixed by turning it down. It is a nice soundtrack. I do admit. Just the first one really got a bit too much for me. It's easy to play. It's a gameplay wise. It's just pressing one button. It's a visual novel, so it's either press or rewind and go from that. So there's not much to say about controller wise. Overall, the Fairy Song is a pretty good visual novel. If you're into these Yuri visual novels, this is probably right up your alley. If you're starting off visual novels, it's a pretty good one too. It's not very complex. I like my visual novels with choices. This one didn't really have any. I don't know if it does, but it does have, I think it was 85 or 87,000 words, so it's a pretty long one, and it's pretty good value for money, I guess. Out of 10, I'm going to give the Fairy Song a solid 7 out of 10. I'd like to thank everyone for calling past the live stream today. Thank you. If you are watching this back on my YouTube channel as a video replay, thank you for watching. I'd like to thank everyone for calling past again. Thank you. I don't know why I'm repeating myself. Make sure you take care of yourselves, your ones you love. Don't forget to feed your pets. Say hi to your dog for me. And remember, guys, you're perfect just the way you are. If you want to change, then change. Just be you, do you, and you'll be fine. Until next time, this has been Ratalaika Game Presents The Fairy Song. Thank you for watching, and bye for now. Catch you on the next side, Gaming Goddess Gamer. Thank you, Goddess. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Cowboy, for popping past too, and Jericho, and everyone else that popped past. Thank you for talking to me. Till next time, thank you.